Now, let me ask you something. What do you think would happen if you could stay completely focused for just 2 or 3 hours every single day, no distractions, no interruptions, just deep, uninterrupted concentration? Can you imagine how much your life would change? I think most of us already know the answer. Everything would be different. If you're a student, you'd probably learn faster, retain more information, and outperform most of your classmates. If you're already working, the quality of your work would improve dramatically. You'd produce better ideas, better results, and far more meaningful work. After years of observing successful people, I've become convinced of one thing. The ability to focus is one of the greatest competitive advantages anyone can have. That's exactly why, in today's video, I'm going to share 3 simple strategies that can dramatically improve your focus while studying or working. And the best part is, none of these techniques are complicated. They're practical, easy to understand, and you can start using them today. Let's begin with the first one. Fix your diet before you fix your focus. The first strategy is surprisingly simple, but don't mistake simple for unimportant. In fact, this is probably the biggest mistake I see among people who constantly struggle to stay focused. It has nothing to do with motivation. It starts with what you eat and drink. Most people don't realize that your ability to concentrate depends just as much on your physical state as it does on your mental state. When your body feels off, your mind follows, your mood drops, your energy crashes, and your focus disappears. This isn't just personal opinion. It's something researchers have demonstrated over and over again. Instead of covering everything about nutrition, I want to focus on 2 mistakes that almost everyone makes. The first is drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Maybe you've done it yourself. You wake up, grab a cup of coffee, and skip breakfast. The problem is that when your stomach is empty, caffeine enters your bloodstream much faster, and that rapid spike triggers your body to release more cortisol, the hormone associated with stress. Instead of feeling calm and productive, you become restless, anxious, irritable. Your mind jumps from one thought to another, and in that state, staying focused becomes incredibly difficult. So here's a simple change. Eat breakfast first, then enjoy your coffee afterward. It's a small adjustment, but it can make a noticeable difference in your ability to concentrate. The second mistake is consuming too much sugar. Whether it's soda, energy drinks, candy, or overly sweet snacks, the effect is often the same. Your blood sugar rises quickly, your body releases a large amount of insulin to bring it back down, and then comes the crash. You feel sluggish, sleepy, mentally drained. If you've ever felt exhausted shortly after eating something very sweet, you've already experienced it. And when your energy crashes, your focus crashes with it. I'm not saying you should eliminate coffee or sugar completely. The point is simply to consume them at the right time and in reasonable amounts. Sometimes, improving your focus doesn't require another productivity hack. It starts with taking better care of your body. Method 2. Protect your best. Focus before it gets stolen. Now, let's move on to the second strategy. This one is based on a mistake that many people make every single morning without realizing it. Be careful what you do before your most important task. Let me explain. Imagine the most important thing you need to accomplish today. We'll call it Task B. Before starting Task B, you decide to spend a little time on something else, checking social media, scrolling through the news, replying to emails, watching YouTube, playing a quick game on your phone. We'll call that Task A. Most people assume that once Task A is finished, their brain automatically switches to Task B. But that's not how our minds work. Psychologists call this phenomenon attention residue. When you switch from one task to another, part of your attention stays behind. Your brain doesn't instantly let go of what you were doing before. A piece of your focus is still occupied, and that leftover attention makes it much harder to fully engage with the task that actually matters. The more mentally invested you become in Task A, the less attention you have available for Task B. That's why so many people wake up and immediately reach for their phones. They scroll social media, watch short videos, read the news, or answer messages. By the time they finally sit down to work, they've already spent their best mental energy somewhere else. I've seen this happen countless times, with employees, with students, even with entrepreneurs. Another common example is checking email first thing in the morning. It feels productive, but often it isn't. Email immediately pulls you into other people's priorities. Some messages create stress, some require decisions, others leave you frustrated before your own work has even begun. By the time you finally start your most important project, your concentration has already been divided. Instead, reverse the order. Protect your best mental energy. Do your most important work first. Personally, I usually spend a few minutes warming up my brain. Maybe I'll read a few pages of a book or listen to some relaxing music, just enough to become mentally alert. Then I begin the most important task of the day. Emails can wait until lunchtime or later in the afternoon. At that point, even if they pull my attention away, they've already done far less damage. Sometimes productivity isn't about working harder. It's simply about protecting your attention before someone else uses it. Method 3. Build an environment where distraction can't win. The third strategy is my personal favorite, not only because it improves focus, but because it trains your brain to become better at focusing over time. The idea is simple. Create an environment where distractions are almost impossible, at least for a short period. Notice I said, for a short period. I'm not asking you to disconnect from the world all day. I'm talking about 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour. That's enough. Think about what usually destroys your concentration. For most people, it's obvious. Your phone, notifications, text messages, emails, social media. One notification appears, you check it for just a second, and 20 minutes disappear. Sound familiar? Instead of trying to resist temptation, remove it completely. Whenever I need deep focus, I leave my phone behind. Sometimes I even leave my laptop behind. If I don't need it, I'll bring only a notebook and a pen. That's it. Some people think that sounds extreme, but remember, we're only talking about 45 minutes. No one loses their job because they didn't answer a text message for 45 minutes. No emergency falls apart because an email waits another hour. What you gain is far more valuable. Complete attention. Working this way gives you 3 major benefits. First, you finish your work much faster because nothing interrupts your thinking. Second, you experience what true deep focus actually feels like. Many people have never experienced that state, and once you do, you'll understand why it's so powerful. And third, and this is the most important, you begin training your brain. At first, you need a distraction-free environment to focus, but eventually, your brain learns the skill itself. Over time, you'll find it easier to stay focused, even when your phone is sitting next to you, because concentration has become a habit, not a struggle. If you have access to a library, that's a great place to practice. A quiet coffee shop works too. Anywhere you can spend 45 uninterrupted minutes working on one thing. Start there. Build the habit first. Everything else becomes easier afterward. Today we've covered 3 practical ways to improve your focus. None of them rely on motivation. None require expensive tools or complicated systems. They're simple, they're backed by research, and they've worked well in my own experience. Now it's your turn. Don't just watch this video and move on. Choose one strategy, practice it consistently for a few weeks, then pay attention to what changes. You might be surprised by how much easier it becomes to focus. At the beginning of this video, I said that focus is one of the greatest advantages you can develop. I still believe that's true. When you can focus longer than most people, you learn faster, you create better work, you solve bigger problems, and over time, those small daily advantages become extraordinary results. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.